Hey everybody, it's Mitch, and welcome to my next video. Today we have got another Dungeons & Dragons 3.5 class description for you. And today, from the Complete Arcane, we have got the wujin. So, the wujin is, it's an interesting class. So what we're going to be talking about the wujin is we're going to be talking about, well, first off we're going to talk about what is the wujin. Then we're going to talk about, the kinds of RP, how they function in an RP sense. So like what kind of person they are, all that kind of stuff, how they interact with others, things like that nature. Then we're going to talk about what the wujin actually gets in terms of class features and game mechanics. And finally, we're going to talk about how good the wujin is and how you might use them in a build. So let's get started with it. All right, so the wujin. What they are is interesting. So basically, the wujin is they're an arcane caster, very similar to a wizard in a lot of ways, but the way they achieve their magic is very different. First off, these guys come from the east. This is an Oriental race, not a race, an Oriental class. As you may have guessed by the name wujin, definitely sounds Oriental. On top of that, the class, it gets its powers not from hard work and study like the wizard does, but rather from, I suppose hard work in study is a big part of this, but from going out and to commune with nature and find and seek out in the way of a hermit to find the true answers that they're looking for to enhance their power. They will often get their powers from a master who will teach them. They usually have one master who teaches them everything that they know. Unlike a wizard, who of course will learn in a standard college. That being the key difference between the two. Sorry, I got a bit of the hiccups there. Yes, that is the what the wujin is. So now let's talk about how they are as a character. And that's interesting. So basically, the wujin is, I kind of mentioned a lot of that. They are very chaotic in nature. So that's something that you should keep in mind. They are not lawful. Often very chaotic, although they can be neutral. Their background, that tends to, as I say, they're hermits. They don't come from wizard colleges. They learn from masters and studying through nature. Their race, typically humans, although any common race can produce wujin. It's going to be the races that are common in the East, which isn't described at all. So that's really up to the DM to determine what races exist in the Eastern world. Other classes, they actually don't like any of them. Wujin are very much hermits, and they don't like any other class. However, they aren't stupid. These guys, they're very intelligent, actually. Intelligence is typically their best stat. And if it's not, then what are you doing? Yes, the wujin, they do very much dislike other classes, but at the same time, they understand, hey, it might be nice to have a tank around to absorb some hits. Hey, if I do get hit, it might be nice to have someone that can actually heal my wounds so I don't have to rely on natural healing, because that's slow as heck. Hey, there might be something I'm looking for on the other side of this locked door, and that's going to be hard to open. So I might be nice to have someone who's good at opening doors, or maybe there's some traps. Maybe there's someone who can deal with that. So they recognize the need for other party members, but at the same time, they're not exactly team players. They don't really like them. The wujin will either come to respect or tolerate or something these other teammates that they're working with, or they will come to hate them even more for the fact that they have to rely on them. So the wujins, it's an interesting one. They're not big people pleasers. Charisma is probably going to be your dumb stat anyway, so that does make sense. That or strength. Those are the only two that make no sense to have for this particular class. Anyways, so yeah, when you're playing this, you're probably not going to be. You're probably going to want to be left alone. You're probably not going to like the other people on the team very much. You probably understand that you need to rely on them, but you're not going to like it. You're in it for your own personal self gain. So yeah, that's the wujin for you. And that's how you're probably going to play it. Is somewhat self-interested, and not much of a team player. That's kind of the way these guys are. So yeah, let's talk about what they get. So a decent amount. So first off, D4 hit dice. Yikes, not good, but they are a caster, so understandable. They have to be. They can't be lawful, so that is a restriction. They get a bad base attack bonus, so not good, but again, a caster. Bad fortitude and reflex saves, but good will saves, so typical for a caster. They, of course, get two. Their skills are 2+ int. Not great, and their skill list isn't all that impressive either. It has all the important ones for a caster, plus all the knowledges, but other than that, they get a whole lot of nothing. I think they get like profession too, but still like and craft, so it's like ooh, but yeah, your typical stuff. I think that might be the same as a wizard actually. Now in terms of weapon and armor proficiency, they're proficient with simple weapons, and that's about it. Now for the big one that they get, and that would be their spells. And that's actually very similar to that of a wizard. Wujin are going to get spell casting. That's going to be intelligence based. That does require a book. They're going to have to choose spells per level. They get 2 at every level, and and they can add more from other Wujin spell books, potentially from Wujin scrolls too. Although that's not something that you see often. So great, they can gain new spells that way. So that's kind of nice. Let's see. They get bonus spells based on high intelligence. Their save DC is based on intelligence. It's just intelligence casting. Honestly, it's pretty much identical to Wizard. Their casting. The only real difference is their spell list is a lot smaller than that of the Wizard, but like a lot smaller. Wizards is absolutely massive. These guys, it's decent, but they don't really have a lot of support outside the Complete Arcane. So, but their spells are actually quite interesting and unique, and spells that Wizards just can't get. Most Wuzhen spells are only Wuzhen spells, and there's some really good ones too. As well as they have some access to some of the better Wizard and Sorcerer ones as well. Like some of those happen to be on their list too, like Wish. So that's something. Yeah, that's and they also have spells per day, and which they have to prepare. And honestly, it looks identical to that of the Wizard. So pretty much on par with the Wizard for spell casting. The list is different, but the spells are quite good. More limited, but there's some really good, and unique, and interesting spells on their list that other casters are going to have a harder time getting. They'd have to emulate like Wish and Miracle and Limited Wish and stuff like that to emulate a lot of these. So yeah, really great. Let's see. Wujin, they're also going to get bonus languages. So basically they can take, Giant and Draconic, instead of some of the racial bonus languages that they have. Although if they're human, it doesn't matter because humans have any bonus language. So being able to replace 2 of any with those is meaningless. But other races this could be useful for. At the same time, if you are a human Wuzhen, you should probably take these because they're common, just for like RP reasons. Let's see. They also get Watchful Spirit. This one's pretty minor. Basically, whenever they roll an initiative roll, well, not whenever, once per day when they roll initiative, they can roll twice and take the better result. Yeah, and actually, it's not even so much that; it's after they've rolled once. So if they roll once and they're like, then they can roll again and take the better of the two. So that's actually a little bit better than just once a day roll twice, because maybe the first one was great, but yeah, you can, if you happen to roll a bad initiative roll, you can roll again. But this has to be before the order is actually determined. This is just after you've rolled your die and you're like, I don't like that number. I'm gonna try again. Anyways, yeah. Bonus feat at first level. Wujin will start with the meta magic feat. They just get a bonus meta magic feat at first level. Kind of nice. Sort of similar to the wizard, except the wizard has a scribe scroll, which you can pick. That can be your right. This is meta magic, so I guess no, that's item creation, but sort of similar. It's just, yeah, instead of that they get meta magic, which for a lot of purposes is better. They also at third level and every third level thereafter, except for sixth, um, they get a spell secret, which will allow them to pick one of their spells and apply a meta magic feat to it permanently. Like anytime they cast that spell, that spell just automatically always has this meta magic feat on it at no cost. Let's see, and you can pick from enlarge, extend, still, or silent. So pretty decent list. Yeah. Then and it can be anyone. It's set in stone. Yeah. So then at sixth level they get elemental mastery. They can pick one of the 5 elements for wujin, which those would be, let's see what, fire, metal, water, and wood. Oh, and earth. And those pick one of those, and then any wujin spell that's of that element or of all elements, they'll get a +2 to caster level whenever casting a spell of that, which is really nice. They'll also get a +2 to any save thing throw that they make against such a spell. So not bad. Not bad at all, really. Let's see. We already talked about spell books and how they obtain spells. Now, Wujin are also going to get taboos. These aren't great. These are kind of bad. Basically, a Wujin at first level has to pick a taboo, and then at third level, and then every time they take a spell secret. So third level, ninth level, 12th level, they have to take another taboo, and every time they do this, they're going to or in every and they have to follow this taboo. There's a list of things from like not eating meat to not being able to wear a certain color, various things like that. You can pick whichever one you want, and if you do this taboo, you lose all spell casting for the rest of the day. So it's a pretty big deal to make sure you actually follow the taboo. Or don't follow the taboo, I guess. Like, don't do the thing that you're not supposed to do. Like, make sure you don't do the thing that you're not supposed to, because if you do, you'll lose spell casting. Yeah, but you can try and make it as harmless as you can so that it comes up as little as possible. Like not eating meat or drinking alcohol or wearing a certain color. Like, it's fairly easy to make sure you avoid that. It's kind of enforced RP flavor, which is nice. Yeah. So let's talk about how good these guys are. Honestly, they're quite good. Like, a lot of these abilities are really on par with a wizard. They're so similar to the wizard in a lot of ways. Their spell list isn't as good, but their spell secrets are nice, and they're even better if you take a prestige class early on, and then come back and get those spell secrets later. Because once you have like 9th level spells, because then you can just start stacking all of them onto a 9th level spell and just make this particular 9th level spell like have all the meta magic feats on it. That can be really, get one an enlarged, extended, still silenced 9th level spell. Like, let's see, 9, 12, 15. Yeah, you can get all of them on one. Not bad at all. Now, of course, you're talking about pushing into epic when you're doing this, but yeah, I'd say it's worth it. Although at the same time, even going that route, you know, I suspect the epic wujin would also have would continue getting spell secrets every 3 levels and more taboos too. So not necessarily the way to go, but not bad either. Especially seeing as having too many taboos can start getting very difficult to deal with. So yeah, they have a lot of interesting spells. They can potentially be used in all sorts of builds. They pair well with uh, uh, stuff from like the Tome of Battle. I forget the exact class, as well as like Jade Phoenix Mage. You can make some pretty powerful builds. Um, uh, there's a lot of really good stuff that can be done with these. They have some really unique and powerful spells if used correctly. So yeah, that's the uh, that's the Wujin. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I'm always curious to hear your guys' thoughts. If you enjoyed the video, consider giving it a like. Maybe subscribe to the channel for more D&D 3.5 content, because I do one of these on every single class, race, and prestige class in Dungeons & Dragons 3.5. So ring that notification bell so you never miss out on a video. But anyways, as always, I'm Mitch. I'll be seeing you